but one of the most commonly asked questions is, how do you become a successful full-time real estate agent? And that's hard. I mean, it's hard for a lot of agents starting out. But I'm going to share the 6 steps that I took to create a success for myself. And you guys are going to get to come along with me during the day as I share those. So right now, I'm about to run this hill to get warmed up. I love these hill workouts. They're one of my favorites. Gets the blood flowing, gets you warmed up, gets you loose. All right, we just wrapped up the hill workout. Now we're gonna go hit the ropes down by the workout area on the beach. We're gonna get in and talking about the 6 steps I took to becoming a successful real estate agent. And the first one, number 1, which I believe is highly overlooked by real estate agents or young individuals or even people who first start out once you have a license, is the failure to plan, properly plan, have a plan. You think about it, 15 years ago there was no Zillow, there was no Redfin, there was no Compass, iBuy, none of these real estate disruptors, they didn't exist. And so here we are now at a time where an agent can pick up his or her mobile device and build a brand. And so the first step to having success is creating a plan. If you look directly behind me, you see this development. Someone had a vision, and in order to bring that vision to fruition, they had to go see an architect, an engineer. They have to develop a plan. So it's one thing to say, hey, I want to be a successful real estate agent, but it's a whole nother thing to try and go about it without having a plan mapped out for yourself for success. 90% of the agents that enter this business fail because they have no plan. And remember, those that have no plan are planning to fail. So with that being said, before I get into step number 2, I got to finish my workout. But as you go about executing your plan, if you're starting out fresh, make sure you try to reach out to someone that either has more experience than you, more knowledge than you. Be prepared to perhaps work on someone's team or seek out a mentor. And if you're going to seek out a mentor, do not expect the information for free. Be willing to give value, do something for free in exchange. You just have to communicate what that is, but never go into that situation expecting someone to share their successful secrets with you without being able to offer something of value to them. So now I'm about to get into this second half of the workout. Know we was gonna get hot and sweaty in this episode, did you? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more sweat coming and hard work. All right, step number 2 is developing and finding your niche. Now, once you identify a niche, your focus should be building authority in that niche, in that space. Basically becoming the go-to agent for anything real estate related within those individuals in that niche that you're looking to serve. Take me, for example. I started out in short sales and foreclosures, and then I moved into my overall passion, which is sports and entertainment. So I built a lot of relationships in the sports and entertainment space over 15, 20-year period of time. And from that, I maintained those relationships, which enabled me to begin building a brand and becoming an authority in this space of sport, in the space of sports and entertainment when it comes to servicing those clients. So my recommendation would be is to start with something that you would have reach to or familiarity in, meaning you have relationships already established in that space, people that you know that respect you and that trust you, and reach out to those individuals and let them know that you're in that particular niche market or in that space, and that they can come to you whenever they have real estate needs or even questions and just need information. And I think if you do that and you start that way, you cut down the failure rate for yourself. And of course, you know, you have to put in the work. You have to be committed. You have to be all in. If you're not all in, it's not gonna work. All right, guys. There we go. Gotta get my clubs. I like to play with my putter. Which brings me to topic in step number 3, which is building your database. All right. I smell popcorn. You guys smell that? Let's see. Yeah. Nothing like fresh popcorn. All right, let's talk about step number 3, building your database, which basically requires you to do a ton of networking and prospecting pretty much on a daily or regular basis. It's something you're gonna have to wrap your mind around and you're gonna have to make a strong commitment to, because building your database will lead you to eventually establishing yourself as a full-time agent. Let's face it, at the end of the day, the way that you get business is basically through contact, communicating with people who know you, people who like you, people who are familiar with you, or you're gonna have to make cold contacts to strangers, and that's people that you don't know. So there's a couple of ways you can go about doing it. One, you can network. Networking I've found to be a very effective way. So some of the ways I've chosen to network is hosting my own private events. That's worked very well and effectively for me. I'm actually here at one of my mortgage partners' offices, and we're going to be discussing one of our upcoming events this fall. And we use that as a strategy to connect with new people and also professionals that are currently working in our niche market to develop relationships with. And the other is I play golf often. So I always try to reach out to people who I know share the same interests as I do, whether that's in basketball or golf. So when I'm in the office and I'm working on building my database, I like to work on my putt game, which allows me to at least look like a professional when I do have opportunities to go out and play with golf. And that's important. So, you know, when you're working to establish your database, reach out to people that you have relationships with, you know, individuals you may want to build a relationship with, and see if you can build some sort of a connection with those people, and then be consistent with that. You know, it's best to try to find things that you're comfortable with when you're networking. And when you're prospecting, golf can also be a great way to prospect by inviting those individuals out with you out on the course, just to make a connection with them, to get to know them and let them know that you have interest in potentially working with them one day. Prospecting is really something that no one really enjoys in this business, but it is vital and it's very necessary to be able to have success. So when I am prospecting, I like to do things to kind of break up the time, like work on my putt game, or sometimes I may watch highlights, basketball videos while I'm on the phone working calls. I mean, whatever you got to do, you just have to make up your mind what it is you're going to be able to stick with and be consistent with, and you have to develop and build from there. The same way I spend my time working on my putt game, networking, and prospecting, I spend the same amount of time learning my market, which leads me to step number 4, which is knowing your market. So knowing your market is very, very important. I mean, typically the agents that are able to properly advise their clients on what's going on in the marketplace are the agents that usually win the business. You know, I learned early on in my career that having an understanding of what's going on in the local markets and being able to connect with other agents within those markets that I am seeking to serve and, you know, sell properties, it's important that I had a pulse on what was going on, meaning knowing who's planning to sell, having that information when you have relationships with key agents within your market that can tell you about a property before it hits the market is really vital. Most agents in the marketplace have no clue what's going on around them as far as what's selling and what's not, and particularly what buyers are looking for. And so when you are starting out in your career, this 4th step is something that I think every agent has to have implemented within their business, and it's something that they have to spend a lot of time studying. Just like, you know, when it's time for me to take my real estate license, it's similar when you're studying and preparing for the market. Whenever you meet that client that has interest or wants to talk to you about real estate, that's your opportunity to sell yourself, sell your core competencies, let those individuals know what's going on in the marketplace, and that's going to give you a greater chance for success and begin to lay a foundation for building a successful career as a full-time real estate agent. All right, step number 5, you want to build your pipeline. After you begin to lay the foundation to your networking, to your prospecting, and you begin to make connections with people and build relationships, the next thing you want to do is build out a pipeline. And that pipeline should be individuals that you've communicated with, and at some point they've shared with you that they plan to buy or sell real estate in the next whatever week, month, or year. And what I do in order to attract those individuals, I've created my own personal pipeline report. So every day I go in, and I'll share with you guys also in a link, is I have a pipeline report that I look at, and I look at where I am in the year as far as our sales. This year we're just a little under $12 million in overall sales for the year, and we still have a few months left of 2019, which is the last quarter that we're entering into. But in order for me to stay up to date and communicate with people that are going to either be buying a property or selling a property, I follow my pipeline report, which is basically my roadmap to success in regards to closing transactions with people I've made a connection with through referrals, through networking, and through prospecting. It's one thing to establish the relationship, but then it's a whole nother to follow up with those individuals, because if you don't, you're not going to get any deals closed. When following up with each one of these individuals, where we send them a postcard, we make a phone call to them, we also have emails that go out to them, and of course they get invites to all of our private events that we host. So it lets us stay top of mind with these individuals. It's Rod Watson here.
How are you?
Good, good. We spoke a few months back about you investing in particular properties here in LA area, and I wanted to update you about an off-market listing that I have in Malibu, and wanted to see if it's actually going to be a great fit for you. So are you available to discuss? Is now a good time? All right, step number 6 is build your team. Building your team is very important. You're going to get to the point in your career where you've got momentum, you've developed a pipeline, you have your networking and your prospecting down, and you're beginning to develop business. Then it comes to a point to where as you're growing, you're going to maybe need help, and you're going to need to have the right people around you to help you grow your vision. So it's important to select the people that can help you fulfill your vision and help you carry out your goals that you have for yourself on a day-to-day basis. So maybe you don't start out with a big team, maybe you start out with an assistant, and then you develop and you grow from there. But nonetheless, being able to develop and build a team is one of the final pieces to having a successful brand, and also being able to establish yourself as a successful full-time agent. One is picking a really good mortgage professional. Remember, you're in a service business, so the services that you provide to your clients is what's going to keep people coming back. If the service sucks, they're probably not going to want to do business with you again. So it's important that you align yourself with people that have a reputation of providing a high-level service in the space that you're looking to serve. The other is selecting the proper team members to help you deal with overloading your business. Maybe that's a buyer's agent, maybe that's an assistant. The other is a title company and escrow. These are all vital pieces to helping you grow and develop yourself and establish your business. And as you learn this and you go through the process, maybe you'll be on someone's team when you start out, so you get the opportunity to actually see firsthand what that is like before you go out on your own and develop your own team. But however you go, or nonetheless, whatever route you choose, just remember, step number 6 is one of the final pieces. It's not something you're going to do in the beginning. So follow the steps that I've shared with you in the order that they're in, and you'll find your way on the road to being a successful full-time real estate agent. And remember, the key to all of this is being all in and believing in your ability, and making sure at the end of the day, you stay committed to doing it and getting it done. Just got in a contract from the seller I've been waiting for, so definitely excited about that. Listen, I hope that you guys found value in the 6 steps that I've shared with you on how to become a successful real estate agent. Be sure to like and also subscribe to this video, and I would love to hear your feedback. So share your comments on which of 6 steps that I've shared you found value in the most. And stay tuned for my course that I'm going to be releasing later this fall called Rookie to Pro, which basically shares how to establish a brand, how to build a 6-figure income in this business, and live the life that you want to live on your own terms. So until next time, you guys keep hustling out there and keep winning.